Eminent speaker, Mr. Harj Dhaliwal is Managing Director, Middle East and India Virgin Hyperloop. Mr. Harj Dhaliwal oversees all activities and projects of Virgin Hyperloop in the Middle East and India. With over 35 years of civil engineering experience, he has a proven track record for managing mega rail and infrastructure projects in complex, challenging environments around the world. Prior to Virgin Hyperloop, was the Senior Vice President for International Rail and Transit Systems Business at President Corporation, where he was responsible for managing his business sector across Europe and the Middle East with over 450 staff deployed across some of the largest and complex rail and metro projects in the world. Prior to joining Parsons in 2012, led the development of several multi-billion-dollar rail transit programs in the UK and Ireland. He began his career as a contractor, moved into consulting, and has held senior management roles in global client and consulting organizations. Mr. Harj has spent the last 25 years in the development, delivery, and management of heavy rail, light rail, and metro projects, including PPP, PFI, and DNB projects across Europe and the Middle East. Notably, he was the program director for the delivery and operations of the first national heavy haul railway in the UAE Etihad Rail. And a very warm welcome to you, sir, for your presentation.
My name is Harj Dhaliwal. I'm the Managing Director for Virgin Hyperloop across the Middle East and India regions. Thank you all for tuning in today and giving me the opportunity to present at Rail Technology Expo 2021. As you may know, Virgin Hyperloop has been working in India for quite some time now, and I am excited to share our progress and our vision for the future today. But before I go there, what I'd like to do is start at the very beginning for those of you who are not familiar with who we are and what our technology is. And that started way back in 2016. In 2016, we launched what was known at the time as the Global Challenge event. This Global Challenge event was our way of really engaging with authorities, institutions, uh, individuals, consultancies, to try and identify where our technology could best add value, where our technology would really have a key impact. We focus on North America, Europe, Middle East, India, and Asia. But it was India that stood out from all of those opportunities that I've just mentioned and those locations. It was India that now holds the record for the most number of registrants at an event that we've ever had. More importantly, the responses and communications that we had from individuals was unprecedented. Communications saying that Hyperloop technology was the solution that their city needed to alleviate itself of the transportation issues and also of the environmental sustainability crisis. We analyzed all those responses, and then in February of 17 came to India and we held a key event. At that key event, we had the Honourable Minister of Railways at the time, Suresh Prabhu, and also Amitabh Kant, the CEO of Niti Aayog, attended guest keynote speakers to outline their vision for transportation, renewables, and the environment in India. Our vision in India, or our vision for India, was clear. It was to have a connected India, an India where all tier one cities were no more than 2 hours apart. And that vision in 2017 still stands firm today. It's not moved at all for us. And some may say, well, that is a very, very bold vision, but it's a vision that would revolutionize India and allow it to leapfrog once more into the 21st century as a transport technology global leader. But when we look at India, this bold enthusiasm shouldn't come as a surprise. We know India is positioned to lead the world. It has long leaned into the opportunity of the information age and anticipated the value of new technology. India is home to the fastest growing economy in the world, or one of the fastest growing economies in the world. It has a vibrant young workforce, skills in high technology, world-class skills in high technology, I should say. On top of that, India is starting to emerge as a tech startup hotbed and has a vision for a renewable powered future. Most importantly, India has a track record, and it has a track record to leapfrog where others haven't in the past. When we look at the communications phenomena, that gives a key example how India can take the lead in the world. Having said that, India is growing. It is one of the key powerhouses that is forecast to grow as we come out of the pandemic. But with growth comes environmental and sustainability issues. And with it comes a growing population that wants opportunity. With opportunity comes the migration crisis that we all know about, where tier one cities are going to double in size from where they are now, about 300 million to about 600 million by 2030. So therefore, it's not small increments or incremental steps that will resolve those issues, but radical change that will be needed as we move forward to a successful, sustainable India. Having said that, and having sort of highlighted the issues, there is a need for innovative transportation solutions. We need to think differently. There hasn't been a new mode of transport for over 100 years. We all know that. I've stated that fact many times. Existing solutions do not tackle well enough the congestion and traffic jams. And in just 4 Indian cities, it costs 22 billion a year to India, where travelers spend over 1.5 hours more than their counterparts in adjacent countries in Asia to do their daily commutes. Tackling urban congestion, therefore, presents challenges, but for India, it's an existential question. It's an opportunity closely tied to its fundamental strengths. That's booming cities, a vibrant economy, a young workforce, and a projected powerful economic future. We at Virgin Hyperloop want to help and address India's search for ultra-fast, high-speed, affordable, safe, and sustainable transport technologies that will allow it to grow. What rail was to the 19th century, Hyperloop will be to the 21st century, and India is leading the way alongside us. As a first mover in new mode of technology in transportation for over 100 years, India will become the global manufacturing center and export hub for Hyperloop technology and components and systems, which will fuel demand for high-tech jobs, provide growth, provide opportunity, and allow for partnerships to flourish. How does it all work? Technology, simple, has been around for over 100 years. Back in the Victorians, there was the first pneumatic railway that was built in London for the Expo at the time at Crystal Palace. But in essence, the technology requires a tube. In our case, it's between 4.5, 5 meters in diameter. We remove or evacuate the air out of that tube to about 1/1000th of an atmosphere. Within that tube, we then put a vehicle. We call it a pod. That pod is levitated. In our early trials, in our early versions of our technology, it was levitating from the bottom. As you can see on this slide now, we are actually levitating from the top of the tube as opposed to the bottom now. We have a pod, as I said earlier on. It's important to note that it's not only passengers, but it's also for cargo. The pod is effectively akin to a pressurized vessel, similar to an aircraft fuselage, but without wings. The whole vehicle is then levitated, as I said, from in our case now, it's from the roof down, and then the whole vehicle is propelled using magnetic, electromagnetic propulsion systems. But the system is controlled using AI and autonomous control systems technologies. It means that these vehicles can work as individual vehicles. They can then convoy in convoys of 6, 12, 18, whatever configuration you want. Vehicles will never be tied together physically, but they'll be electronically coupled. So it enables you to then move forward at high speeds in very efficient convoys, but enables every single pod to be programmed so that it only stops at its planned destination. So there's none of this intermediate stopping that you would get on any other form of rail-based transport. So the pods will travel in a near vacuum environment. They can hit speeds of up to 670 miles an hour, zero direct emissions using magnetic and electronic propulsion systems, but all of it controlled with very little human interference. What does it allow us to do? Well, it allows us to put you, the customer, at the heart of what we're trying to do. For the first time, we are developing a brand new transportation system that meets the 21st century demands of the consumer, which means that it'll be on demand. It'll be when you want to travel, as opposed to you having to be driven by timetables. It's direct to destination. That means there's no intermediate stops, as I said earlier on. The whole system is fully autonomous, 100% electric, zero emissions at the point of use, and hugely energy efficient by the time we've removed all of the air out of the way, which is the largest impediment to any transportation system on Earth. Moving air requires vast sums of energy, which we don't require once that's already been removed. Our path to commercialization started right back in 2017. We're the only company in the world to have a full-scale Hyperloop test facility just outside Las Vegas. In 2017, we had a momentous year where we, first of all, proved to the world that levitation, magnetic levitation in a vacuum environment works. We then unveiled our XP1 vehicle, and then ran tests on that at full scale, again, showing not just the technology, but actually the vehicles that can work in a similar environment. We hit speeds of up to 400 kilometers an hour in a 500-meter test facility, and carried over 400 tests between the mid of 17 towards the end of 17 and on into 18. But since then, our technologies continue to evolve, as you can see from the slide, and with a big focus on safety, validation, and verification. As we move forward, our technology will continue to change. And what's important is as we move forward through 2021, I'm so excited on some of the innovations that we will be bringing to the fore and introducing to you all as our technology continues to evolve, as our technology continues to mature. But let's not forget what our technology does. By using much less energy in a very controlled environment, what we are doing is eliminating the greenhouse gases and CO2 emissions to the Earth's atmosphere. And this statistic here on the screen here, which tells you 150,000 tons of pollution would be eliminated on the route that we are looking at between Mumbai and Pune. In fact, some of our experts are actually saying that 150,000 tons is probably on the more conservative side, and we would be eliminating a lot more of the emissions to atmosphere than what we've got shown on this slide. Safety is right at the forefront of everything that we're doing, front and center. And we've been engaging authorities right around the globe, specifically in North America, in Europe, in the Middle East, and also in India. And there's been a huge amount of progress that's been made in all of those regions now on engaging with regulators, with governments, with authorities to develop regulations and standards that are now becoming much more ingrained, much more defined, to enable us to ensure that our systems that we are developing are going to be safe, but more importantly, approved, tested, certified before we put them into commercial uses. And here in India, we've engaged very closely with the Principal Scientific Advisor's Office. We also engaged with Niti Aayog since 2018. And I'm very pleased to say that back end of 2020, Niti Aayog announced a committee under the chairmanship of V.K. Saraswat, the eminent scientist. And that committee has been specifically set up to enable India to look at our technology in detail, in depth, to ensure and identify how it could fit into the Indian context, but more importantly, to make sure that we are being validated, verified as we go along. Coming on to the projects, I think of all the projects that we're working in India, I just wanted to highlight, we have been working in Maharashtra now since 2017. We identified a route between Mumbai and Pune as a consequence of our Global Challenge event. And that route has continued to be developed. We are in continuing talks with the state government, also federal government, on making this project bear fruition and move into reality. Project is broken into two phases. There is a phase one of the project towards Pune, which will be used initially for testing, commissioning, verifying and validating alongside state and federal authorities. And then phase two will continue to be built out beyond that. The route is 117 kilometers in total, has the capacity of carrying between 150 to 200 million passenger journeys a year. But more importantly, what does it do? It cuts a journey which is 3.5 to 4 hours down to about 25 minutes. It eliminates 300 million pounds of greenhouse gas emissions annually, as I stated in the previous slide. More importantly, it's not just about a transportation project. An investment of this magnitude would also create 1.8 million jobs in the lifetime of the concession of this project. And it is a long-term project. It's a long life concession. It would add $36 billion to socioeconomic benefits within the state. And it'd be one of the largest privately funded infrastructure investment schemes in the state, if not in India. So we're very proud to be working with the state of Maharashtra, and we continue to engage and look forward to progressing this during 2021. More importantly, one of the most common questions I get asked all the time is, when will somebody be able to ride in a Hyperloop system? And it was a question, it's a burning question that we have been trying to tackle and address. In fact, we've been doing it for the last 2 years without anybody knowing about it. But in November 2020, November the 8th to be precise, we showcased to the world the first passenger journeys on a Hyperloop system. I'm very proud to say that one of those passengers, one of those 4 passengers who have traveled safely in a Hyperloop system was Tanay Manjika, who's a electronics engineer for Virgin Hyperloop. He's an employee of ours in Los Angeles, born in India, raised in Pune, one of the first persons in the world to ride a Hyperloop. And I'd like to just leave you with his thoughts, and I'll play a video.
This is Tanay Manjika here. I'm super excited right now, super pumped. That's because I just rode a Hyperloop.
Pegasus, this is Capcom. Prepare for launch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch.
This is real. This is as real as it gets. These were definitely the most glorious 15 seconds of my life. I can never forget them, never ever. Hyperloop is real. I'm really proud to represent India, really proud to represent Pune, and I'm really proud to represent Maharashtra in this endeavor. And I really think that Hyperloop is a viable solution in between Pune and Mumbai. Super pumped about it. It is real. We are doing it. We will do it in India.
Thank you. This test was not a publicity stunt. I just want to be clear on that. It wasn't about speed either. We didn't hit the top end of the speeds that we quote, which are theoretical speeds. We'll hit those speeds when we've got longer opportunities and facilities. But this was really about fundamentally proving that our technology was safe for passengers and that we were using rigorous control processes and independent experts right the way along through the process. We're seeing tremendous progress on the projects here in India. And Hyperloop was named as the original project proponent on the project in Mumbai. We're working also in Bangalore, we're working in Punjab, and also Niti Aayog has now got a committee set up to work with us to identify the opportunities our technology will bring for India. With all of those advancements, India has every opportunity to lead the world in the next transport revolution. We are proud of taking this leap together with you. It is my hope that today's presentation gave you a better understanding of just how real Hyperloop technology is for Maharashtra, for India, and for the world, and how Virgin Hyperloop is bringing this technology to life, not in years, in years and not decades. I hope that this presentation gave you a good insight into the progress, the technology, and the vision that we have, and that we are continuing to support and progress our projects in India through 2021 and beyond. Thank you very much for giving me the time today, and I look forward to sort of keeping you all updated as we move forward together. Thank you very much. Bye for now.